Greetings, fellow space nerds, humans of Earth, and beyond. I'm Cornelius, back at it again with another Starfield shipbuilding video. I've got build number 108 and the first of the Three Sisters project, Sword of Cheyenne, a Class C Battlecruiser, and the heavy hitter of the Three Sisters, her tightly packed particle beam array, coupled with her quad heavy magnetic rail cannons and her quad mounted heavy direct fire destroyer cannons, she packs quite a punch. The Sword of Cheyenne is also the main logistical ship of the Three Sisters, with her heavy cargo loadout. This was the first battlecruiser I put together of the Three Sisters project. After I finished this one, I enjoyed it so much, the idea of building a trio came to mind, and I got to working. It is interesting that the Freestar Collective does not have any M-class ships. We'd think that they'd have at least one. Well, the Three Sisters can help them with that. This one was a ton of fun. Let's check her out. That's a big bird incoming. These engine nacelles, coupled with that main engine at the rear of the fuselage, really came together far better than I expected. I mean, they just look like one unit. I mean, it's two engines merged, but damn, that looks good. Can't help but like my own stuff. These engines are definitely my favorite part of this build. Of course I like the whole thing, but they just came out so good. I think the rail cannons merged into the sides of the ship was also a pretty sweet move. This particle beam setup here at the bow is also pretty sweet. I feel like it looks, well, freaking awesome. Alright, this interior came out very well, I think. Let's give her a look. Thanks, Andresa. You're right. So we enter into the main cargo bay area. This is a empty 3x3 by 1. And over here around the corner we have the brig. It almost feels weird not to have a brig when you get to the 100, 120 meter long ships. Of course, depending on their purpose. It'd be weird to have a brig in a freighter. And here is the armory. And this is the ammo storage room. Just a general armory storage room. Got our weapons workbench in there. Can never have too much ammo. Some unique suits for the 6-man away team. And our first interior window. This is the main shield area. You can also see the grab drive in there. And we're back into just a general workshop area. A few more benches. Andre's are hard at work. And here's our med bay. It seems like almost every week a new interior mod comes out, and I have to go skim through it to see what new parts I can add. It's probably one of the best parts of this game. Here's our cold storage for medicines and other medical stuff. Up we go to our next deck. We pop up into a general utility room with some secure cargo storage. Next we have the captain's quarters. I think this came out pretty good. I try to make all of these individual captain's quarters unique in their own way. Now we enter the main control room. This is a furnished 2x2 Deimos. I added some stuff, of course, but I think this one comes pretty solid the way the devs furnished it.
It's nice to see you.
We will head forward now to the midsection. This is our galley and mess hall area. Plenty of food for a ship this big. And here's the mess hall. This is a 3x1 Matilija, the horizontal one, of course. Continuing forward, we have our crew quarters. This is a 3x1 all-in-one, followed by a 2x1 all-in-one. Of course, I put my own touch on here. Each bunk has a locker, but I also wanted to keep it a bit minimal since this is a warship. And here's another utility area. Also got the crew laundry stuff. And then we move into several server rooms. Sort of a forward engineering bay. We've got some windows to monitor our particle cannons. We drop down, just got a few more servers. And another window to do the same thing. There's a window above it. And we'll head up another deck to logistics. This is a 2x1 control room. Tried to spec it out more as a map room, kind of where all central planning would transpire. And here's our second interior window. Look at that. That's cool. I'm sorry. Got some Intelligence shield boosters. Yeah, I love doing that type of stuff. Pop up one more deck to our secondary control room, as well as our docker area. We've got some EVA suits for the flight crew. I know those are the minor suits, but they look much more like emergency EVA suits, so that's what I use them for. And we've got another server area. I added a bathroom here for the flight crew. I have one more flight of stairs for the bridge. Now all three of the sisters have the same bridge for continuity purposes, but I've customized this a little bit, primarily with the monitors and the wall board there. Pretty sweet interior. This one took me a while. Let's build it. Here we go. So the first stage is going to be our Habs and our walkable spaces. So the bridge, the docker, and the bay as well. Starts off pretty simple and increases difficulty from here. I will try to keep the talking minimal. Phase 2 is going to be putting the bow section together. I don't think much of this is very difficult. I definitely put a lot of thought into how I could break this down and make this as simple to follow as possible. As long as you have some general shipbuilding skills already under your belt, should be easy enough. If you have any questions, of course, put them in the comments. I answer every comment. Kind of my thing. Enjoy. You will see the way that I mounted these destroyer cannons is extra. It's super extra. The reason I did this is because my OCD did not want them to be mounted just a half a fraction more inboard. So you don't need to do that. You can mount them right to the top of those Hopetech caps you'll see here in a minute. As a general rule, whenever I'm using these Matilda armor plates, I will typically double them up, as I've done here with all of them except one, as long as they don't clip into any of the habs. This is strictly to bump up the hull numbers to make the ship more survivable. I do play on extreme, so I definitely die in space. So more hull equals more better. We will occasionally run into these funny little mounting issues, but if you just do like I do and make one attachment point available like that, the builder will understand what you're trying to do, and then once you get everything snapped in, you can just remerge that armor plate where it was supposed to be. Easy peasy. If you want, you could totally just mount these destroyer cannons right there instead of there. But like I said, my OCD would not allow me. Now, this particle cannon array is primarily relying on equipment plates to merge into the front of these Deimos spines. So you could either attach the equipment plates, then attach all of your particle cannons, then merge the spines, or you can attach all of the spines and then build your particle cannons on each axis for the equipment plates and then attach those individually. Both ways will work, but that's how they look, like they're merged into those Deimos spines. Alright, next section. This is the rest of the gear and the port and starboard sort of setup. It's also where we're going to install our Matilda magnetic rail cannons. I think this is pretty easy to follow, and I'll shut up. Okay, this is going to be the aft section of the ship, also where we're going to have our reactor and grav drive. If you connect all of these parts in the order that I'm doing it, you shouldn't run into any problems. Hopefully. Now here we are creating that internal shield space which we will set up in the final phase, and it will go there. Okay, Nacelles. This is not as complicated as it looks. All you're gonna do is set up this bottom bit of the nacelle first, and then this initial merge is what sets everything else in play. Those two demo spines that we're about to grab is what pretty much everything is connected to, so definitely just follow this order. we've made it to the final step. Our main superstructure and the internal shield room. This is overall pretty straightforward as well. And that's a wrap. Let me know in the comments if you guys are liking this build style. if you made it here to my final thoughts, you're freaking great. I can't thank all the viewers, likers, commenters, and the subs for all the support. You guys keep me going. Not that I really need it, if I'm being honest. This addiction is ripping, but I'm having a lot of fun. This Three Sisters project has been a little difficult, especially with these interiors, but I very much enjoy how they came out. The engine setup on this bird, I think, is my favorite aspect. Those nacelles just, they do something for me. You can expect the next ship of the Three Sisters project, the Shield of Volley, sometime hopefully early next week. Let me know down in the comments what you think of this big bird, the Sword of Cheyenne. I definitely had fun with it. Until then, I'm Cornelius. You can find me in the Star Yard.